The Nacc Podcast, Know the Corruption, Know the Truth.
Welcome to the Nacc Podcast, Know the Corruption, Know the Truth. And today's episode, we invited you to know about soil digging, corruption, preventable with measures. Currently, we will find news about many cases of illegal soil digging, such as soil digging to sell, in the Sopocore area, Nacc Province, covering an area of more than 300 acres, with damages that have occurred continuously for more than 10 years, not less than 1,200 million baht, issuing a permit to operate a soil digging business encroaching on a national forest reserve in Nacc Province, and news in many other provinces across the country, finding that soil digging has been illegal without proper permission or the permit has expired, which affects income from fees that the state should have. Soil digging has deviated from the academic plan beyond the requested permission, or the engine horsepower is not in accordance with the requested size. This resulted in the adjacent land subsidence and collapse, resulting in damage and the loading of soil exceeding the legal limit, causing damage to roads, which affected a large amount of the government budget for maintenance, including bribery of government officials who considered the granting of excavation permits and government officials who inspected and supervised the excavation business to comply with the law. In addition, the Nacc received complaints on the issue of the overlapping use of power in issuing permits for digging, scooping, dredging or extracting sand or soil from many agencies. Of course, the Nacc did not ignore this problem. On June 25, 2024, the Nacc Committee resolved to propose measures to prevent corruption in illegal excavation and filling to the Cabinet in accordance with Section 32 of the Organic Act on the Prevention and Suppression of Corruption BE 2561, with the main points of the measures to prevent corruption in illegal excavation and filling in several areas, including resolving conflicting issues of laws, regulations and practices. 1.1 The law should be improved or regulations related to excavation and filling to make the control of excavation and filling more effective and to prevent corruption more effectively. The said law shall specify the guidelines for moving soil after excavation and filling. 1.2 The relevant agencies in approving permission for excavation and filling shall reach an agreement to reduce the steps in requesting permission, which will make the approval and permission process more transparent, such as jointly considering issuing regulations on the use of duties and powers in issuing permits as joint regulations and using electronic methods for approval, permission, issuance of permits, and duplicate permits. 1.3 Jointly create a map showing the areas where permission for excavation and filling can be requested, using the GIS Geographic Information System to prevent permission from being granted in areas where excavation is prohibited. 1.4 There should be an analysis of whether or not each area can be excavated and filled, including the impact of excavation and filling, and guidelines for soil and environmental rehabilitation. 2. Solving the problem of requesting permission to excavate laterite soil in mountains or hills and areas outside the mountain area and the perimeter around the mountain within 40 meters. Solving the problem of requesting permission for sand dredging and dredging canals to solve the problem of flooding or drought for rivers within the province. Let the relevant agencies make an agreement and prepare a manual to solve the problem of requesting permission to excavate laterite soil in mountains or hills and areas outside the mountains and the perimeter of the mountains 40 meters. Solve the problem of requesting permission to dredge and dredge canals to solve the problem of flooding or drought for rivers within the province. 3. Solve the problem of supervision of excavation and filling operations. Law enforcement has not been able to be carried out strictly or effectively in checking, controlling, and supervising according to the mission, duty and authority. 3.1 There must be measures or guidelines to protect government officials who act in accordance with the law, and there must be serious punishment for those who use influence and power, including government officials who intentionally seek undue benefits in issuing land title deeds. There should also be a system to protect government officials who act in accordance with the law and system to prevent government officials who are involved in corruption from being a facet to commit wrongdoing. 3.2 There must be sufficient task earning for officials and an effective inspection system. 3.3 The National Environment Board must set environmental quality standards for excavation and filling. 4. Problems of lack of transparency in inspection and public participation. The agencies that have land under their supervision must establish a mechanism to monitor legal excavation and filling of land through public participation. An anonymous tip-off system must be established with appropriate channels, which may use information, technology, or social networks, and the results of the action must be reported to the public who provided the tip-off. There must also be a mechanism to protect the public who provided the tip-off. Overall problems related to many agencies: illegal excavation, issuance of excavation permits in National Forest Reserves, excavation while the permit has expired, excavation that deviates from academic plans, excavation beyond the permitted area, excavation on owned land or private land, excavation that affects safety, and loading of soil beyond the legal limit causing damage to the road, affecting a large amount of the government budget for road maintenance. To solve this problem, the responsible officials must set measures to monitor on a case-by-case basis. Although solving the problem of illegal excavation is a major problem, both from influential people and the process involved in granting permits, the important thing in solving the problem of corruption is cooperation from all sectors and all relevant agencies. As for the Nacc, it will propose measures to prevent corruption regarding illegal excavation and filling of soil as mentioned above to the Cabinet for consideration and assignment to relevant agencies to implement and effectively reduce the risks that may lead to corruption in the future. Honest, fair, professional, transparent, and verifiable. Office of the National Anti-Corruption Commission.